Hello, and welcome to the Low Scale Gaming podcast Game of Thrones review for season 8, episode 1. We are doing this like very fresh, very raw. We had the idea literally this morning to do it. It is like 17 minutes past the episode running. So we are going to get our live reactions with it and go from there. And hopefully next week it'll be a little bit more structured. But
we'll see what we don't like about
yeah.
and fix it.
But Conan Jones, what did you think about the episode?
You're stupid, robot.
What did you think of the episode?
I was super pumped, and then I was just like, all right, just filler. Can we cuss here?
A little bit.
Okay, I'll save it for something else. So I was just like, filler, okay, story, okay, I see where they're going. Holy crap, what's this octopus kid on the wall? Holy shit, he's on fire. And we're done.
Okay, see, you're looking at it in a very over the top kind of thing. You don't appreciate the finer details of what's going on.
No, and it's that because you appreciate the story for the thick story plots and all that sort of stuff.
I love me some thick plot.
With two C's.
With two C's.
Which I totally see where they're going, and I like the way it's headed and all the ins and outs and all the characters getting kind of coming back.
Right.
I don't know. I guess I was just on the hype train, and I was like, I'm ready to see somebody die. Like, and I know we're about to get like all of that. Episode 3 is what everyone is assuming is going to be the Battle of Winterfell, and it's supposed to be the longest cinematic battle scene in history, longer than Helm's Deep in Lord of the Rings: Two Towers. Okay, holy crap.
Yeah. So
it's going to be like the entire episode then.
Pretty much, because it's the runtime for that episode is 86 minutes. So, quick maths, I believe then the battle, how long is the Battle of Helm's Deep? Is it 45 minutes, really?
Dang. You're also recording, correct?
Yes, I am recording.
Okay, just making sure before we get too deep into this. And I was like, I haven't done anything.
It's 40. So if it's 45 minutes, that means it's going to be...
If it's an 80-minute runtime...
It's going to be more than half of the show. Excuse me. More than half of it's going to be about the Battle of Winterfell. God, I cannot wait 2 weeks from now.
Well... Yeah, so that means next week is going to be lots of story also.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and run down the episode. Yeah.
Okay.
So, so I have like a bunch of program notes that we don't necessarily have
to me.
No, we don't necessarily have to hit all of them, but I put some
bullet points together.
Well, yeah. All right. So first of all, the new intro looked amazing.
Yeah, we actually watched the intro. We normally skip over it just because we've been watching.
The music always gets me hyped up, so I always just watch it. Because if you watch the intro, it gives you subtle hints on where they're going to be at for that episode. If you didn't know that.
Oh, so yeah, I watched it a couple times, but then since we've been streaming it and we've been behind for so long, we're just like, all right, dinner's ready, skip all this, let's get to the actual show.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, every episode will show where they're going, where the story's going to be at for this for this episode.
Yeah. Because I noticed that they had the wall that had fallen down in the intro.
Oh, that was so cool. I liked how they were going inside of the towns and not just having the overview of it, but actually going into the Great Hall in Winterfell, going into the crypts of Winterfell, and then King's Landing. Oh, it was all good. I loved it. I hope they keep doing that for next week.
Yes.
But all right, it opens up with Daenerys and Jon and the army of Dothraki and the Unsullied just marching into Winterfell, and everyone is just like, oh,
what the heck?
Yeah, there's like this little boy running. I thought they were opening up with like a flashback scene for a minute there. Yeah. And because I don't know who the little kid is, and I guess it was a nice little swerve they had there, and then it just cuts to this little boy running next to Arya. I'm like, okay, awesome. I love Arya. All right, so we're present time here, and this honestly made me question a lot of things in the season, because first off, Jon didn't recognize Arya. That made me sad, like. Because
did he even look that way?
Huh? No, but like, if you saw your brother in a crowd and you haven't seen him in a while, couldn't you like pick him out from like your peripheral vision?
But if I'm not really looking for him, because they weren't even into Winterfell yet, and he didn't know she was there.
Yeah, so but Arya's always been one to like sneak out and do stuff. I mean, Bran was too before he got pushed out of the tower, but. Arya was always a tomboy and not doing what she's supposed to.
I don't know. I think the reunion they have later.
Yeah.
Any of that.
That felt good. But do you think Daenerys is the villain for this season?
Daenerys?
Yeah.
That's kind of how it's been spun so far. But I mean, which to the north, she
is the villain. Yeah.
Because they don't know what's coming.
It feels like she's like just that Daenerys is the actual like big bad of the whole series, and not the Night King and not Cersei. But
I'm sure that will change once they see what's going on.
Yeah.
But like they said 45,000 times in the episode, like people in the North just don't trust outsiders.
Right, you have to earn their trust. Exactly. I don't know, like the way the music shifted whenever the dragons started flying overhead, it had a really menacing tone to it, where it just made it seem like it was like a boss battle theme playing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's something's about to go real bad, and it's about to be her fault.
Yeah. But so let's get back. Sorry, let me get back to my program notes. So we get to the Great Hall there, and it's more of like, oh man, this was a good scene. This is a good opening scene to this season. Just the lords in Winterfell not trusting Jon, and little Lyanna Mormont just laying the smackdown on Jon Snow, and Sansa is just like laying the smackdown on Daenerys. But then Daenerys has to finish it off with just being like, whatever they eat whatever they want. I'm just like, man, that is some big tit energy that Daenerys just had just now.
Me and my wife were both just like, oh snap.
I was just like, man, this is oh. So after that, then this was another one. This was a very heartwarming scene, I thought. Oh wait, no, not that one. Sorry, this was a reunion I didn't think we were gonna get to see like ever, and it was really weird with Tyrion seeing his late ex-wife Sansa.
Yeah.
That
was a cool little interaction.
It threw me off. I wasn't expecting like her to even like talk to him. You know what I mean? I just gonna be like, get away from me, dwarf.
Well, because part of me even forgot that they were married. Like,
yeah.
And we were watching the thing at the end where the directors kind of talk about it, and he was talking about that scene. And I was just like, okay, yeah, I kind of forgot that was a thing. Like seems like it's been so long ago, but
right.
Just that interaction between that they haven't seen each other in so long, but they've lived in each episode since then in their own right, just not together.
I did like the comment that Tyrion made about Like the last time I saw you was at wedding, Joffrey's wedding. It was an awful affair, and then Sansa's just like, not everything was bad. It was like
it had its moments.
Yeah, that was yeah, it had its moments. That's what it was. Yeah, that got me cracking up. Oh, that was good. Oh man! But so next, probably the most heartwarming scene throughout this whole thing, I think, was Jon and Arya's had their reunion. Do you know the last time they were on camera together was?
I could not tell you.
Season 1, episode 1.
Is it really?
When Jon gave her needle.
See, I guess I don't even remember that it was Jon that gave it to her.
Yeah. As you can tell, Conan Jones isn't that into Game of Thrones as I am.
I'm a normal amount into it.
I won't know about that one. Anyways.
I've watched through it once.
Okay, that's fair. I think I've watched through it 4 times, I think, and it's about to be a 5th time.
Yeah. Granted, we started like last year.
Yeah.
So
it was. I liked how they were showing each other's weapons and stuff. That made me laugh because it made me just think of like penis jokes.
Show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Yeah, that's exactly where my mind went with it. I was like, Jon, why are you showing your willy to your sister? That's a bit weird.
But that's like another just bonding moment, just because like she's grown up and he recognizes that.
Yeah, but I also get that like I felt like that at the end there. Arya doesn't trust Jon.
I don't think so much that she doesn't trust him, as opposed to she's trying to be both sides of the fence. You know what I mean? Like she sees where Sansa's coming from, being Lady of Winterfell, but then she also sees where Jon's coming from because the North won't survive without
Daenerys and the army. Yeah.
So it's like, I see what you're doing the right thing, but don't forget where you come from, kind of thing.
See, it just felt like the Jon kept on singing the same song and dance with the whole like, we gotta have her, the North needs her, all that stuff, you know? And it got really old.
Which, that's kind of the big deal with this episode, is getting the North to believe in Daenerys.
And it's hard because the North are a bunch of, as Jorah said later in the episode, the North are not Jorah, Davos said that the North are a bunch of stubborn goat heads. I mean, it is true. It's very true, especially with Leona Mormont, my favorite character.
I was about to say she's your favorite,
right? Like I was hyped whenever she was like the first person to actually have like good dialogue.
Yeah, and
of
course it was her. Like
so now we go to King's Landing. Cersei's sitting there being Cersei. I know I'm supposed to, but I just absolutely despise this character. I always have. And even whenever she got like had to do her walk of shame because of the what were they called? Not the crows. I forgot the people. I forgot their names. They weren't that important because I didn't like them. The church people. You know what I'm talking about?
Sorry, you got a little body for a second. I think it's just on my end.
I think it is because mine's fine.
The recording should be fine. It just
so
you said about the walk of shame.
Yeah, like I forgot about. Even then, I didn't care for Cersei, even though we're supposed to like try to sympathize for her. I had no care for Cersei ever, and here she is, just sitting there, being Cersei. I also think she's not pregnant. I fully believe that she was saying that she was pregnant as to trap Jaime and to keep him there at King's Landing.
I don't know, the scene with Euron
Yeah, later.
kind of threw me off.
That was weird, but we'll get to that in a second.
Okay,
so
sorry.
so Cersei gets told by Qyburn that the walls got knocked down because there's a dragon now, and Cersei's just sitting there, just like, good. What does she have to take down an ice dragon? Like, let alone like a regular dragon, but an undead ice dragon. What does she have that could take that down?
Because like the big trebuchet cart like worked so well
right
the first time.
It was like
so now,
it was like bringing a knife to a dragon fight.
Almost literally.
I thought that was clever there.
Yeah, proud of you.
So then we have the Greyjoy family reunion. I was really expecting Yara to have her tongue cut out, just because of how Euron is. Do you not know anything about him?
Well, like I was kind of surprised that she was just kind of tied up on the ship, and that's it. Like,
right,
you're just hanging out in his room, tied up to the pole, and you're just you just look dirty, like you've just been there the entire time. You don't really look like you've been beat up or like tortured or anything.
Well, Euron cut out the tongues of all of his crewmates. So that's why he was talking about how he doesn't have anybody to talk to. Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot why it was like they did some. He was traveling through some storm or whatever, and they were all crying around like, "Hey, turn around! This is bad." So after they got through the storm, he like cut all their tongues out.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I didn't know that part.
Yeah. Anyways, and he says he's gonna go sleep with the queen, and he does. I was not expecting that. I thought Cersei was gonna just keep being a cold-hearted lady to him, and it happened.
Because she played that card right off the bat, like.
Yeah, and especially I thought she wouldn't because she's pregnant, or air quotation pregnant. But now that I'm thinking about it, maybe she did it so she could like not
trap him in it.
No, not so much trap. Because maybe she is pregnant, but she doesn't. So she doesn't want other people to know that it's Jaime's. She wants it to know that she wants it to be Euron's. You know what I mean?
Even though it's not actually actually Jaime's. It's
here we go. In order to like keep their partnership, whatever is it called, agreement in line. Yeah, like that, because whatever after the war, if they win, Euron's supposed to marry her, right?
Correct.
So, but if she's like pregnant throughout this whole thing without Euron having any sort of like sex with her, he's gonna think something's fishy. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe Cersei is pregnant.
So she's just kind of playing Euron against himself,
right? But see, then why is she drinking? But then she's drinking wine, like. In almost every scene she has in this episode, she's drinking wine.
So I think the tell for this theory is going to be after this episode if she continues to drink.
Yeah.
Because maybe she's still just drinking to keep up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she didn't drink with Tyrion. And she like made it a big deal about how she's not going to drink, even though she's like as big as a drunk as Tyrion is. So
yeah.
It's gonna be I agree. If she keeps drinking next episode, then she wasn't pregnant at all.
Yeah.
But so then the last scene. Oh, I forgot to even bring this up. We had the first shot of the Golden Company, the big army that Euron went to go get.
Yeah. The first time we've actually seen them, like we've heard about them before.
Yeah, and they did not look impressive. To be completely honest, I
was just expecting the ships down. Like, okay, the Iron Fleet's back. Like,
right, and I was expecting elephants too, and there are no elephants. It makes sense why there's not elephants because it's hard to transport that over the seas, but it bugs me that I was expecting elephants and I got denied.
The CGI budget went to the battle that's coming up.
The CGI, yeah, obviously, because the dragons in this episode did not look good at all. But we'll get to that in a second. So the last scene in King's Landing, Theon saves his sister. He redeemed himself. I didn't think it was going to be that quickly, but he saved his sister, got a wicked headbutt, and then that was pretty much it.
We're all back to normal.
Nothing happened. There's no
words.
Yeah, it was. Everything at King's Landing today for today's episode was just really bad. I felt
it's causing more questions.
Oh wait, there is one more thing at King's Landing. I forgot about this in my show notes. So Bran is sitting there at the brothel.
Ooh, yes.
And he's the ladies are talking about the Field of Fire battle, and he gets upset. And then Qyburn comes in. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you carts full of gold. Go kill Jaime Lannister with the crossbow that Tyrion used to kill Tywin." If you didn't know, that was the same crossbow that Tyrion used to kill Tywin Lannister while he was sitting on the toilet pooping. We've lost Conan Jones. While Conan's figuring out his mic stuff. So we go from there. The dragons aren't eating. It's weird. There's oh, hey, we're depressed. Big oof time. And I like how there's only 18 goats and 20 sheep. There's they've only ate that.
Yeah. It's oh, they're not eating anything. Something's wrong.
Right? And so they go see him, whatever. They get the pet. Danny gets on Dragos, and Rhaegal's just sitting there, and he's like, "Hey, Jon, get on me." What? Yeah. Dude, okay. I'm going to show you this cool trick.
Dragon is which?
So the one that Danny always rides is the biggest one named Drogon.
Which is the kind of pinkish one.
Yes, he's named after her, Khal Drogo. Rhaegal that Jon was riding in this episode is named after her oldest brother, Rhaegar Targaryen. And the one that died, his name was I forgot what his actual name is, but he's named after Viserion. His name is Viserion, and he's named after Viserys, Danny's older brother, the one that got the golden crown from Khal Drogo.
Yeah. Okay.
It makes sense why Rhaegon wants Jon to ride him, because he's just like, hey, you're my kid, because he's named after his dad. So yeah. It makes sense. Anyway, so they're doing all flying stuff. It looks cool. I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty cool. The whole thing. It was a good scene. I was just like, Jon's about to die, isn't he? He's gonna get flung off of this thing, or something's gonna happen. Anyways, they find this cool waterfall, and then Jon and Danny start making out or whatever, and the dragons are just looking at them, like the awkward pet on the edge of the bed, just sitting there watching you.
That's exactly what that was, and she's even just like, "Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid." They watch all the time.
Yeah, they watch every time I do this.
Okay, did you get the feeling from Rhaegon is looking at him? He's just like, "Dude, that's your aunt. What are you doing?"
I'm just like, how do you not know this? I don't even speak English. I'm a dragon, and I know
It's like, dude, what are you doing? Calm down. I've had to deal with this Targaryen stuff for a long time. Stop it. If you didn't know, Targaryens do a lot of interbreeding and inbreeding. Sorry, and it's weird. I'm not getting to that with this one. Anyways, it was cool though. So then we go to Gendry making swords, and I don't know how I feel about it. He made some bad axe for the Hound, and the Hound's just ripping him to shreds over it. And then Arya Big Boss Arya walks in. I straight up thought she was about to kill the Hound. I really did.
I was expecting a little more conflict. I wasn't expecting to murder just right there. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't know. I was. I don't. It's straight up. I wanted. It probably went to me just wanting like, hey, somebody needs to die. There's only 5 episodes left.
Yeah. See, and that's what I was thinking too. I was like, okay, if we're gonna start killing people off, we need to start. But they're probably just saving it all for the big battle or something.
Right.
Just get rid of everybody.
Arya and Genji have a really nice reunion. I thought that was cool. It was nice. Genji kept on calling her my lady, and she hates that. That was fun. That was good times.
What was on the picture? Like, was it some sort of like nunchuck looking thing that she wants her to make it?
I don't know. I thought it was like a spear, but then it was like missing like the middle part of it.
Yeah, like it was hard to tell what it was, but
I don't know. It looked weird, but
because even he was like, "And what do you want with something like this?"
Yeah,
like,
I don't even know what it was. Is she making a slingshot? Because she's like the Game of Thrones embodiment of David, and she's going to use it against the Game of Thrones embodiment of Goliath, the Night King, and just kind of like slingshot some dragon glass into him.
There you go. I mean, you know, at this point, I wouldn't be really surprised by just about anything.
Yeah. All right, so the next thing, this is a pretty serious. We start getting to the serious stuff now. Sansa's sitting there calling out Jon about being like, "Did you bend the knee because what was best for the North, or what was best for you?" Kind of. I was just like, "Ooh, that hit at home."
And he didn't really even have an answer for it.
Right?
It just kind of cut to the next scene.
Because then it went to like this scene felt bad to me. I know Mage doesn't like Samwell, but I really like Samwell Tarly, and just to sit there and have Dany tell him that he killed her father because she didn't bend the knee, even though he was already a prisoner, and everything like that. It felt bad. I felt that was so bad.
And his brother, like,
I did think it was funny that he was like, well, at least I'll be welcomed at home now. I'm just like, oh man, that hurt me.
Yeah, but like that's totally his like mentality with stuff, because just him and his dad never got along.
Right.
Because like, yeah, he was upset, but then he was like, okay, you know, at least my brother's in charge. And like, oh no, by the way, and he's like, oh. Okay.
Oh, one more thing before we get like after Sam like runs out of there and Bran's just sitting there. What is the deal with like Bran this entire episode being just like Batman in a wheelchair, just being like, I was out here waiting. What? Yeah. You can't even roll yourself out here with your Meals on Wheels self. Like, get your hover around and get out of here.
Yeah. Go inside or something.
Like it's snowing outside. I know you can't feel your legs or nothing, but get inside. Get a jacket. Man, it's I don't understand why Bran was just literally everywhere. I straight up thought Bran was going to be in the crypt whenever they were just
hanging out back in the corner.
Like I thought he was just going to like Professor X hover himself down into the crypt. Oh, this is probably my favorite scene of this episode right here. Whenever Sam and Jon are down there in the crypt, and Jon Snow finally learns that he's the heir to the Seven Kingdoms, and he's Aegon Targaryen.
And he just like the first thing he goes to is that Ned lied to me. Like,
I can understand why Ned lied to him because he protected him, and it makes perfect sense that.
Yeah. Because
Robert Baratheon hated every single Targaryen. He did not care about anything about Targaryens unless they were just dead.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to protect my nephew. Like,
right. And like, Ned Stark was a man of honor. Like, he might have lied to Jon about his heritage and everything, but, like,
he's alive.
He's alive, and like, his sister made him promise. So he kept his oath to his family over everything.
And we'll see how that plays into stuff.
And it's just like, it really makes me hard. It really makes it hard to have any sort of like trust in Daenerys whenever Sam, the person that like never says anything bad about anybody, is sitting down there mad dogging her about being a terrible person.
They're definitely starting to sow the seeds of doubt, because I mean, up until this point, you either don't like Daenerys because you just don't like her, or you're all about it.
Like, see, I like Daenerys. I like her. She's a bit extreme at times, but I feel like the ends justify the means. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
and I think even the stuff with Sam's dad and brother, like, was kind of the first real instance of her going a little too far while still justifying it to herself. You know what I mean?
See, I didn't find that justifying whenever she, like, because they were already prisoners. Tyrion made a perfect sense to just, like, to send him to the wall or to, like, just keep him in a dungeon. She didn't have to kill him because that's just she's trying to rule by fear just like her dad did. I also feel that, like, somewhere down in the line in this episode, or like in this season, Jon's gonna have to pick between either saving his family with like Sansa or siding with Daenerys, because it just felt like it's Daenerys versus Sansa pretty much at Winterfell. Yeah. Granted, there's only 5 more episodes, so they're probably gonna get that like nipped in the bud pretty quick.
People are going to start dying, and he won't have to make choices.
Yeah.
Which, that's unfortunate to say, but it's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah. So now we get to like the starting of the ending of the episode where Tormund Giantsbane and what's his name? Targaryen. Oh, why can I not remember his name?
Eye patch guy.
Yeah, I know that, but I had his name like set. I was saying it earlier, and now I'm goofing on it.
Just goofing.
Oh. I'm like going back to look at it. Yeah, Damarian Targaryen. Oh, God bless.
Beric
Targaryen.
Or Dario Naharis?
No, not Dario Naharis. Oh my goodness! Why is this like? Anyways, so they're at the Glover hold or whatever it's called.
It was Beric Dondarrion.
Beric Dondarrion, yeah. That name's so hard to say. I don't know why. So they're at the Glover hold or whatever it's actually called, and if you don't remember, that is Glover hold, because that's whenever in season 6, Sansa and Jon are going around asking for help and stuff, and they get turned down by them. Anywho, I hate jump scares. I hate any sort of like jump scares, and they're all like, "Oh, who's this?" It was Scooby-Doo up in this, and the Night's Watch guy, captain, I forgot. I don't even know his name. He's there, and they find the Lord of the hold right there. Oh man, and that little kid's just like nailed to the wall, Jesus style. Yeah, that was weird, and all those like bones or whatever it was, and like,
it looked like arms and legs like ripped off.
Yeah. That's probably what it was, because since they lit on fire so quickly. I hated this jump scare so much. And I'm just sitting there, I'm just so intense on this, and then just this kid just starts wailing.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my God, I hate this
so much.
But yeah, that was such a cool, like, after the jump scare, that was a really cool scene with the Night King just sending his message, just like, hey, I'm coming for y'all. Y'all about to get undeaded.
About to get it.
Yeah. And that's kind of where it ends off. It's kind of a cliffhanger with that, and then my boy, old Jamie Lannister, strolling up to Winterfell, and guess guess who's sitting there looking at him? Old Batman in a wheelchair, Bran Stark. It's so weird that Bran's just like Batman now. How does he get around?
He doesn't. He just sits there.
Like, he just has this one specific spot he just sits in all day. He's just been sitting there so long, he has snow, like, built up on his shoulders and everything. He's just like, Jamie Lannister, I've been waiting for you for a fortnight now. I'm just like, you've been out here for 2 weeks, dude. What is wrong with you? Go eat something.
It's like, if you can see the future, why don't you just show up 5 minutes before he does?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to sit there all freaking day, man.
Oh, Batman. I can't believe it.
The watchful protector.
Right? The watchful eye of Winterfell. Bran Stark.
He's the three-eyed raven now. He's no longer Bran.
Oh, yeah. So he's Raven Man and not Batman.
Yeah,
that's
the Raven.
Yeah. God bless. All right. So what would you rate this episode?
Probably say about a 7 or so. Like,
I liked what it did. It set up a lot of things. That's what a season 1 or episode 1 of a season is supposed to do. It's supposed to set up a lot of things for like the rest of the season. I thought things would be a little bit more quicker because there's only 6 episodes this season, but it set up a bunch of things.
And that's what I was like preparing to get going real fast right off the bat.
Right.
And it's not quite what was there. Grant, half of that is just like hype train. And
I think after seeing like next week's episode, I could go back to watching this week's episode and just be like, okay, I can see where they're going with this, and I'm gonna give this a higher rating. But I agree with the 7 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10 overall. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. Any other final thoughts?
Do you think that the dude on the kid on the wall was some sort of like intercom to the Night King?
Ooh.
Because he waited to scream for the jump scare until they were done talking about what their plan was and regrouping and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Because if you've noted, like, especially with like last season, whenever they went north of the wall and they were fighting one of the White Walkers, whenever Jon killed that White Walker, the rest of the undead people like just fully died. So he has to be connected to them somehow. And have to like can hear what they're saying or hear what they hear, you know? So yeah. I do feel like exactly that's what it was, just an intercom kind of thing.
Oh, I'm so
you know what we should do this week too now? Like we do an episode review and then an episode like preview.
Just like one on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, or something like that. Or like Saturday, so it can go up Sunday morning.
What if we just add it to the end of...
No, because the podcast already goes on long enough.
Okay.
I like this. This is a good idea. I don't have an intro made for this yet, so we're probably just going to end it with the